All right, pull up a chair, you absolute sickos. Uncle Bob's here, and today we're talking about a book that feels like it was written on a typewriter made of tears. It's called Heart the Lover, and spoiler alert, the only thing this book truly loves is the sound of its own pretentious sighs. You see this quote right here? That's not a review, that's a flare fired from the rooftop by a survivor. This isn't a book, it's an emotional hostage situation. You open page 1, and bam! You're duct taped to a chair while some sad sack recites his diary to you for 6 agonizing hours. Let's get into this mess. Okay, so let's meet the cast, and I use the term cast loosely. These aren't characters, they're sentient tweed jackets with crippling anxiety disorders. So let's meet the emotional vampires who are going to be sucking the joy out of our collective soul for the next few minutes. And here she is, Jordan, our heroine. Her entire personality consists of reading books to feel superior, having deep feelings about wallpaper, and treating the men in her life like emotional toilet paper. She's not a person, she's a walking, talking sigh, the kind of person who thinks her own indecisiveness is a fascinating character trait. And here are your romantic options in this absolute thrill ride. In this corner, we got Sam, a guy who acts like his own libido just committed a war crime, fun at parties, I'm sure. And in the other corner, Yash, the pseudo-intellectual who thinks quoting the Aeneid is a substitute for having a personality. It's not. So what'll it be? Mr. Panic in his pants or Captain Mansplain? It's a real buffet of garbage. All right, on to the plot, or as I like to call it, a bunch of annoying people sitting around being boring. These so-called geniuses are living in some professor's house for free, because of course they are, and what do they do with all this free time and brain power? They invent a card game so ridiculously pretentious it makes my molars ache. And the name of this game is Sir Hincombe Funnybuster. I'm not kidding. Sir Hincombe Funnybuster. It sounds like an insult a British nanny would use for a kid who trips over his own feet. This is their big intellectual invention, folks. This is their grand contribution to culture. So naturally, I had to figure out how to play this game. Step 1, name drop a French author you've never actually read. Step 2, complain at length about how nobody understands your sexual frustration. Step 3, announce a profound thought you basically stole from a fortune cookie. Step 4, just weep silently, a single perfect tear. And the most important rule, step 5, if you feel even a flicker of hope, you lose your turn. This isn't a game, it's a diagnostic tool for depression. So after about 47 years of college flashbacks, the author clearly got bored. I can just picture it. She was like, you know what this book needs? A tragedy vending machine. You just stick it in a quarter, pull a lever, and out pops a fresh, steaming pile of misery. I mean, how do you make these people interesting? I bet the author had a dartboard with random tragedies written on it. You got lost kitten, bad haircuts, stub toe, and right in the bullseye, terminal illness. This isn't writing, it's emotional warfare. Just force-feeding these characters misery until they burst. And look at this. This is the book's entire second act. It's a Jenga tower of misery. First, a tragic miscarriage. Okay, that's rough. Then, a sick son. Oof, tough break. But that's not enough, is it? No, let's give the other guy terminal cancer. It's not a plot, it's an emotional apocalypse. They're just collecting tragedies like they're Pokemon cards. And the prose. Oh, the prose. Get this. Time has a resistance, like a wind. What does that even mean? Is time trying to blow your hat off? You can't fight the wind. You just sort of lean into it. This is what happens when you swallow a thesaurus and then get the hiccups. It's not profound, it's just gibberish wearing a bow tie. Okay, people, I need you to brace yourselves. You thought the tragedy Jenga tower was impressive? Well, here comes the wrecking ball. Welcome to the main event, the secret baby bomb. So let's check in on our buddy Yash. In his 20s, he was a smug intellectual. In his 30s and 40s, he just kind of pined. And now? Now he's in a hospital bed, literally drowning in his own lungs. What a journey. From annoying to just plain depressing. So the man is on his deathbed. He has one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. And our heroine, Jordan, the angel of empathy herself, decides this is the absolute perfect time to make it all about her. So she leans in close, right past the little oxygen tubes, and just casually drops this little nugget. Oh, hey, by the way, remember that one Tuesday back in '84?
Yeah, well, I had your secret baby and gave it up for adoption. Anyway, try to get some rest. What? That is not a confession. That is an act of pure psychological terrorism. The man is trying to die in peace, and she hits him with a 27-year-old paternity suit. It's insane.
All right, the smoke has cleared, the bodies have been removed from the scene. It's time to perform an autopsy on this literary car crash and try to figure out what in the name of all that is holy was the point of any of that. So here we go. The book thought it was about these big fancy themes, love, loss. But what it's actually about is self-absorption, a series of increasingly bad choices, emotional hoarding, and my personal favorite, literary cosplay. That's where you just name drop smart people to make yourself sound smart. This isn't a deep dive into the human condition. It's about emotional hoarders who think their pile of junk is a national treasure. And this number right here perfectly illustrates the number of reasons you should ever read this book. 0. A big, beautiful goose egg. Don't do it as a joke. Don't read it on a dare. If someone offers you $1 million to read this book, seriously consider if you really need the money. Which leaves me with one final burning question. That secret baby, the one she just casually gave away, what if his name was Sir Henkum Funnybuster? I mean, think about it. It's the only thing that would make any sense. The kid grows up, he finds his birth certificate, and he's just Sir Henkum. He can't get a job, he can't get a date. It's the final tragedy. It completes the circle. Oh my God. He's out there right now probably trying to order a coffee. Sir Henkum Funnybuster. They'd have to use 2 cups just to write his name.